Good afternoon. How are y'all doing? I have a new desk set up here, so the the monitor might be a little higher than normal, so I might be looking up more often. Let's see here. So I do have some updates to share with you. Okay, the first thing is that there was a bill that was proposed, introduced to the House of Representatives by Houston House of Representative. His name's Al Green. This is actually, I believe, January 4th, so really early. Let's see if I can find it for you. I have a lot of folders open, so bear with me here. How's everyone doing? Jewel, I know you're from Jamaica, I believe. Nicole, nice to see you. Okay, so let me show you the bill. Let me share it with you. So this bill that Al Green introduced, it's actually specific for people who to provide some kind of relief, a green card resident status, to people who actually were already removed or deported. So in some sense, of course, that's good because there's actually a lot of our clients who come to us uh, before they were deported and we filed an appeal. This is a situation where people can benefit. And believe it or not, ICE is not physically able to go to every single person's home to try to exercise the arrest warrant because someone has been ordered removed on paper, right? They just don't have the resources. Um, so that's why they have targeted missions that everyone knows that President Trump tried to reveal for some odd reason. Um, but at least it got our clients prepared, people in the public prepared in the community. So I'm showing you here Al Green out of Texas, Houston area. Hi, Noble. Nice to see you. This was introduced before President Biden was took the oath to be president. So this is introduced January 4th. Okay, it's HR 168. The title is to authorize the Secretary of Homeland Security, which is common, to provide lawful permanent resident status to previously removed alien parents and spouses of citizens of the United States, and for other purposes. And other purposes, they put that there usually just as a catch-all in case they can, include other people to be eligible in the future. So just kind of scroll down here. It's specific that the immigrant who has been removed already has to have a certain family relationship with someone who is a citizen in the US, a spouse, parent, actually they include guardian. Okay, and then I actually appreciate that. Let me take this off the screen. Um, okay, let's see if there's any other action here. Nope, so far just introduced. Okay. So I took that out of the screen. I want to share that with you because I know there's a lot of talk about the comprehensive bill, and many times these comprehensive immigration reform bills, they don't include people who were previously removed or deported, and so they get left behind in the conversation. So I think it's refreshing that they have this. It's good. I know that folks that are watching, you're probably focused, of course, on the comprehensive bill, and of course the PP 10014. That so far, President Biden has not done anything about that. But let me just check real quick if there's any update on that. Okay. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please post it. Okay, Travel Maniac. I love the name. Hope we can all travel very soon. Do you think Biden administration will do any action to reduce F2A backlog, and what action could they do? Any hope? Yeah, F2A is, yes, very backlogged. Could he do anything? I mean, he can't change the percentages of the allocation of which visas go to which category, but um, I mean, he could technically through Congress. Um, by the way, if my sorry, the sometimes the weather is bad in Houston, so I might cut in and out. But don't worry, we're gonna stay live for at least 30 minutes. Okay. So far, he hasn't talked about anything to prevent loosen the backlog or get rid of it in terms of preference categories. But we'll certainly update you once we get that kind of information. But one thing I want to share with y'all at least is be careful with. I'm a licensed attorney in Houston, in Texas. I practice immigration law in all 50 states because immigration law is federal law. But be careful, especially of notarios or notaries, and even some lawyers that they try to share with you information saying, "Oh, here's a law is passed or something," and so they try to get you to file for something, and then you've done all this research and you're like, wait a second, nothing's actually been passed. So that's why we provide these at least twice a week updates, just to really let you know if anything has been making progress. Okay. Because and all information is out there on the internet. We provide the links down below. Anytime we do have reference a link, we'll provide that at the description below after the show. Okay, Travel Maniac, where are you chatting from, watching from? Love. Your husband's in Haiti. You filed a petition form for the okay, yeah, so it's in the NVC right now, asking for proof of how you communicate. And how do we show proof you communicate through Facebook Messenger? Great question. We actually ask our clients to screenshot, whether it's Skype, Facebook Messenger. Just take a screenshot of your screen, or if it's on your phone. On iPhone, I know that you can. Let me see if I can show you here. I know I have the iPhone. I still have the iPhone 6, but you at least iPhone 6, you just on the right side, and you hold the bezel down here at the same time, so they'll take a screenshot. But if you're on a computer, just Google search how to take a screenshot, and depending what type of computer you have, Mac or Windows, it'll tell you. But that's the best way. That's what we ask our clients to do. So hopefully that helps. Well, you say petition, so I'm assuming you probably have a, fiance petition, because you do need to, or fiance visa case, you do need to show that you have met within the last 2 years, at least at time of filing. So, so you need to prepare a letter actually. So we do provide help, just a letter, and so we do have a Green Card Academy just to help for letters. Check that out on our website and our description down below. We actually have free resources for a free guide to give you some tips on that. All right, love. Hopefully that was helpful. All right, Katoon. Any news on Family Band? So far, same old story. He hasn't signed anything related to that. And just to keep in mind, I know we all want this PP 10014 Family Ban to be lifted, to be removed. But here's the deal. I always want to share the real news. What is the practical situation here? Even if he does, and when he signs this ban, hopefully soon, right? But even when he does, that doesn't mean that the consulate necessarily will open 150% open for interviews. Because number one, they got to figure out how to schedule people. Okay. Because at least a year's worth of applicants like yourself has been backlogged. Okay. But in terms of also the travel ban, that needs to be lifted soon as well for the countries that are part of the travel ban, because I know a lot of consulates who are part of this travel ban don't even want to open or schedule for interview as well because of the travel ban. Because they're thinking, what's the point? So here's the deal. This is what we're doing. All right. Hopefully this will help you. We are accepting clients, of course, depending on the facts of the case. If you have been waiting for the interview, you took care of everything already, like pay the fee, whether it's the affidavit support fee, immigrant visa fee, or if it's fiance visa case, the MRV, machine readable fee, then we're accepting your case to at least take a look at it, to investigate it, make sure you're eligible for it, because we want to file a lawsuit against the Department of State. Okay. And you might be wondering, well, what's the point of that? Maybe Biden will lift it soon. Sure. I understand that. I've talked about this in previous videos that, that I think Biden could do it in February. We're still 1.5 weeks into February. And now that, Department of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas and Secretary of State Blinken are now confirmed as of last week, at least. So they have, the main leaderships up there. They will start making certain decisions and review the data and then make a decision on that. Right. But this is the main reason we're also filing a lawsuit against the State Department. Okay. Is that especially if you've been waiting a long time and you want to make sure that your case is more prioritized, that is a reason we're filing lawsuit on behalf of some clients. Okay, so hopefully that helps, because imagine everything's lifted and you're gonna make a lot of you are gonna make the assumption that you're gonna be first in line. No, not necessarily, because you don't even know how many people are in front of you, right? So if you at least want some kind of idea, I'm not saying that filing lawsuit, they'll give us some kind of queue number. No, not necessarily, but they will have your case more on top of mind, okay, for an interview, because I know many of you have been waiting. So we should have a link down below specific to visa delays or interview delay. So fill that out. We'll contact you after the show so we can make sure that your facts line up so that we can add you to the lawsuit, and that the person who is part of the lawsuit is technically the U.S. citizen, that we would consider as a plaintiff. Okay, so the petitioner. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, Travel Maniac, yeah, you're from Thailand. Oh, amazing. Wish I could. We actually went there last year, yeah, 2020, right before the pandemic. So we're very fortunate to get that trip in. All right, Chef, hey, nice to see you again. I'm good, thank you. How are you doing, Chef? What you cooking up? Any update F2 visa and ban? Yeah, ban still in March 31st right now. That's what I was just talking about. And a resolution for that is to file a lawsuit against the Department of State and the related parties, okay? So fill out that intake form down below in the description box when you get a chance. Hey, love. Okay, so yeah, I had thought that you filed a petition for fiance, but you filed a I-130, so based on marriage. You are married September 23rd, and you filed it September 30th. Okay, so that was actually pretty quick filing. I don't know, in your previous message, did you say, oh, your husband's in Haiti? Okay. That's pretty quick, which is fine. But of course, when you file quickly like that after marriage, you may not have a lot of evidence. So that's why, and I know it's difficult to get a joint bank account together, especially when your spouse is abroad. But there are other ways, to show how you've communicated. So again, like Facebook. I know some of y'all watching are on WhatsApp. Well, yeah, so that's technically Facebook also, because they buy up a lot of different companies. But yeah, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Skype, just regular text messages can work too. But I know, let's see what else. Love, have you traveled to Haiti before the pandemic? Because then you can have photos together. Okay, but the government usually doesn't care for more than 10 photos. I know many of y'all, especially when you file on your own, which is fine. I get it, but don't give them too many photos. They're going to be overloaded. Let them focus on the ones that you include, of course, you and your spouse or your fiance, and a couple with family. We usually our rule of thumb is 10 photos, and we put that in a Word document. We usually put 2 photos per page because it just overloads the package. You want they really prefer, honestly, is the financial joint documentation. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea. In this kind of situation, love, especially, well, I don't know how long you knew each other before, but regardless on that, you want to probably write a letter about each other. Okay, so again, we have a green card. We have a separate company called Green Card Academy, a program where we give you free tips if you enter your email. Download the free guide. I believe it's 5 tips we offer, so you get an idea what the government is looking for. Okay, it's not a "I love you" type of letter, because obviously you love each other. That's what the government assumes, at least. Uh, so hopefully that helps. Okay, love. But you're welcome to schedule an appointment with us. We'll give you more information, more tips on how to move forward. Okay, so I want to, yeah, today's February 9th. I want to check something for you real quick. Okay, I am going to go to the Visa Department of State website, and I'm going to show you if there's any news specific to the Department of State. Okay, I want to show you where I'm getting my news so that you can go look for it also. But of course, we will also provide you the information real time. Okay. By the way, if anyone needs to know about a specific consulate, I'm happy to look it up while we're on the show. But if you have any questions, please ask. Let me know where you're watching from. Okay. So this is one place I look for news. All right, let me show you right now. Okay, so we're at the travel period state period gov website, and you just type, go to U.S. visas, and then U.S. news, visa news. So far, the most recent is January 28th, 2021. So only about 10, 13 days ago. Okay. So still, yeah, it's mentioned the proclamations, but nothing about PP 10014 that I know everyone's waiting for. But I do want to show you, okay, expansion of interview waiver eligibility. So this is one thing that we're going to be asking for when we file a lawsuit against the Department of State. We're going to be asking for a waiver of interviews for people that ask us to file a lawsuit. Okay. And that's really because there is a backlog. There's no way that they're going to be able to take care of everyone within a certain amount of time, let's say 6 months, especially when they have to provide the diversity visas. Okay, but they have to have the interview. So that's going to be a difficult task for all these consulate officers. So they need to take care of it. Okay, so that's actually what former Secretary of State Pompeo made that announcement, that they're considering this for at least non-immigrant visas. So hopefully they can do that for immigrant visas as well. All right, let me stop my share here. Also, by the way, I know I tried to speak last time about the state of Texas filed a lawsuit to temporarily stop the pause on deportations. Look, I'm from Texas, and it's ridiculous what Texas does all the time against the White House. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. It is annoying to deal with, but I'm sure internally with with the ICE and the related agencies. They're trying to prioritize who they're trying to target in terms of picking them up and getting them into custody. So of course, if you are a person that you may believe that there's marriage fraud, that is one reason. Even though you don't have a crime, they have been targeting people at their homes, apartment, house, wherever you live. They will target you. I've heard of that. So I don't know if they're going to hold that off, pause on that particular category of people, but been taking that seriously, unless at least under President Trump. The stories I've heard recently for people who the government believes there could be marriage fraud, they were actually released later on. But the point is, at least they got that person into the system, meaning they likely will have a court hearing for removal purposes in the future. Um, Speaking of court, I just had a hearing this morning by phone. So fortunately, the court's executive office immigration review have allowed us lawyers to appear by phone. So even though I'm in Houston, if you know someone who has a court case and need representation, need a lawyer, or they just need a fresh look at their case for us to provide some kind of strategy, just to review it at least, we're happy to do that. Okay, I don't like stepping on other lawyers' toes or anything, but it's like a doctor, right? It's good to have a second opinion. In fact, I always advise other people that consult with us. You're always welcome to get another opinion. I think that's very important. So it's just so you can confirm, especially when you're trying to get status and you're paying a lot of money. I think it's very important. Okay, I got a couple more questions here. Let me show you. All right, Noble. Anything about undocumented students in high school or college? You're out of DACA. So I'm assuming you're meaning you're not eligible for DACA for one reason or another. Maybe because of a crime or something, or maybe you just didn't meet the eligibility for the dates. Then in that case, if you're talking about the comprehensive immigration reform, there's still no updates about something specific. There are bills. There was a bill filed last week by Democrat Senator Dick Durbin out of Illinois, and that is a Dream Act. So that was last week, but they only introduce it, and they do a lot of talk amongst each other. Okay, every time they have a talk, that doesn't mean they're going to share it with the public. So I imagine they're having talks because that's progress on the American Rescue Plan, the coronavirus, um, the coronavirus bill. So as soon as that's done, then the next thing that's going to be, that's as soon as the rescue plan is basically the coronavirus relief plan or bill is passed, then I do anticipate that the next thing will be immigration reform that they're going to talk about more publicly. Okay, and also apparently the impeachment trial of Trump, President Trump, started today. I don't know how much you're going to get through today, but if you've been following American news, it's a sad story of what happened. It's really sad that people had to die because other people thought that they could just storm the Capitol. How ridiculous is that? It's kind of crazy. Like as if storming the Capitol was going to change the results of the election. My goodness. Really, really sad about America on that note. Okay, so I was trying to see if there was any completion to this American Rescue Plan. I don't see anything yet. But apparently, the recent news is that President Biden will not budge, will not reduce from the 1.9 trillion. And it makes sense because a lot of the money, or a good amount of the money, is also going to schools in the states, and that's something President Trump did not agree to, or Congress before did not agree to, is giving money to the states. I believe they did for the first bill, but they didn't do that for the other bills, as far as I know. And of course, daycare centers. I got a 2-year-old, so I definitely know how daycare centers have been suffering, and they need to be supported as well. And also, of course, the people need a stimulus checks. Okay, so got another question. So hopefully that helps, Noble. Appreciate your comment, question. All right, love. You got that question. Yeah, you're the one with the petition, marriage based. Is there any update on the affidavit of support? Well, in general, you do need to file affidavit of support form, I-864, but I believe, okay, I think you're the one with the husband in Haiti, right? So uh, you can prepare that when you get your National Visa Center case number. And you get that case number when your petition is approved. So you just filed it September, right? 2020. Roughly, I just checked the processing times a couple days ago. In general, of course, under Trump, the processing times of pretty much all applications have increased dramatically since 2016. I looked up, like, for example, 485 adjustment of status, that increased by 100% processing time. So basically double the time. And but yes, you do need to prepare the affidavit support form, the letter I-864. Okay. And by the way, these days with National Visa Center, fortunately, they're caught up with the 21st century. You can upload the form to the online database. Okay, so you'll receive more instructions about that. We're happy to provide. Actually, I need to write that down. We will provide a video about that. Okay, how to do that. All right. Hi, Aditha. Nice to see you again. What happens when U visa is approved? Well, and I'll answer the second. Oh, do we immediately get the visa or place in deferred action? How long is deferred action wait time? I haven't looked at it in a couple months, but roughly from a couple months ago, it was about roughly 5 years, at least 5 years until you get the final approval, okay, that we call approval notice. But what happens before that is that you will receive, hopefully, will receive basically a provisional approval, basically saying that they do agree that they're going to approve your case, but they just don't have a visa available for you right now. Because as you probably know, there's only 10,000 visas limited, capped out at 10,000 visas per fiscal year. And that's very unfortunate. I think it just should be unlimited. Because look, if people have been a victim of a crime, why should you have to wait for a visa? This is, again, just in general, one of the ways that the government, United States government, tries to control the flow of immigrants to gain status. It's very unfortunate, especially in this situation. Which, by the way, that reminds me. So for U visa, Aditha, you know this already, but if anyone has been victim of crime, whether it's a significant other, partner, spouse, really, actually, U visas for anyone who's been a victim of crime. It could be someone who's been at a bar, anywhere on the street and got hit by a car, or because drinking, driving, or got in a fight. That you're the main victim, and you need here's a tip. You need to report this to police. You need to call 911, or at least report this to police if someone else called 911. Is very important because we provide a certification form so that the law enforcement officer, whether it's a police department or sheriff department, to sign a certification form because they need to certify that you cooperated with police, with the law enforcement. And depending when you file your case, um, it may be it may have progressed to a trial and that's been completed. So we also try to get a certification from a judge or the district attorney. We actually, story to share with y'all, we actually just got a U visa certified by a sheriff department, and that was our third attempt because the first two times we tried to get a district attorney to sign it, they said no, and the judge, they said no. And we always provide a packet because they don't understand. Usually times they don't understand what a U visa is, and they think that them signing it means they're going to give you some kind of visa. Of course, they don't have that authority, but especially if they're coming from a conservative county or area, we always assume they just don't understand. So we provide them a packet so they can better understand. So we're the type of law firm, we don't give up. We will try again and again for our clients. So hopefully that helps. Okay. All right, Aditha. Hopefully it helps. About at least 5 years, but keep track of it. Okay. And anytime you move, you want to file. You can change your address online with USCIS. You can you can update them your address for any case. By the way. Okay, we just hit the 30-minute mark, so I'm happy to answer any questions if you drop it in right now. But if I don't see anything in the next 30 seconds, then I will have to drop off for my next consultation. But I know that some of y'all just joined, so just in case, happy to answer. But yeah, if you just joined the show, I shared earlier that we are accepting clients for people, especially if you're concerned about the travel ban, the visa ban, the PP 10014, the President Trump's proclamation from last year, and you have a spouse or you have a fiance who has been waiting for an interview at their consulate and they have not received the interview date yet because of these bans. We are preparing for a lawsuit to get that done. Okay, so we have a window period of about at least 2 weeks that we want to see how many clients we can get in order to file a lawsuit, because we want to make it cost effective for you. Okay, because if it was just one person that we're filing for, of course, depending on the facts, it would be more expensive. So the more people that can join our lawsuit together, the cheaper it will be, the less price it will be for you. Okay. So we do have our intake form down below in the description box. If it's not a situation for you, if you don't have that type of situation, but you know someone else, please share our lead intake form link. Okay, greatly appreciate it. Deetha, you had a question about, do principal use must get final visa for other? Yes, you have to be approved first before you may have filed to include your dependents, your children, for example, but the principal has to be approved first. In fact, they could be approved at the same time. We have had I want to share a story. We had a client from a Central American country, and I've lived in the U.S. for a long time, and was the principal, the victim applicant, and they had one daughter in their country, birth country. So we're able to file as a derivative dependent visa for that person afterwards. So that is possible as well. Okay, so we have experience with U visas as well, and also T visas. T visas, people who've been, human trafficking. Most people think of it as like, the prostitution ring. It's not just about sex trafficking. It is, which is obviously horrifying and horrible, but it is also for labor trafficking, meaning undocumented people who have not been paid their wages. Actually, we have some clients who work in a farm or restaurants and did not get paid, and so that is included. We can help you. All right, we reached so we're over 30 minutes, but stay tuned. Okay, our next session live show will be this Friday, but of course, if anything happens beforehand, we will update you and probably may have a live show on Wednesday, tomorrow, and Thursday. So stay tuned with our channel, okay? And thank you very much. Okay, we have more news, so stay tuned. Okay, if you're new to our channel, please subscribe. And until next time, please continue wearing your mask. Take care.